Chag Sameach, everyone. Happy Passover. I'm very happy to be together tonight to do our Seder together. So we're using our Lionsgate Haggadah that looks like this. And we'll begin our Seder on page 1 with the blessing over the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has made us holy with your mitzvot and commanded us to kindle the Passover lights. Amen. We turn now to page 2 for Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who gave us life and kept us strong and brought us to this time. We continue now with our first cup of wine or grape juice. I actually have 3 Kiddush cups on my table today. I have one for Aliza, one for Miriam, and one for myself. So we'll fill our first cup of wine or grape juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. We continue now on page 3 with the karpas, the green vegetable. So let's read this in the English together. Karpas represents spring and new growth, rebirth, and the beginning of new life. We taste in this fresh vegetable all the potential in nature and in ourselves. Tonight, we celebrate our growth, the flowering of our spirit and of our voices. We do not taste the vegetable alone. We dip it into salt water, recalling the tears our ancestors shed during their long years in slavery. We mix bitterness with sweetness, slavery with freedom, past with future. We live with the contrasts because we know that no moment exists without a multitude of combinations, sorrow and joy, pain and comfort, despair and hope. This is from A Night of Questions. So your karpas, your green vegetable, might be already dipped, but if it's not, you can dip it with me. We'll dip and say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'adama. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the earth. We've now come to page 4 for the 4 questions. Now, traditionally at a Seder, the youngest person there would sing the 4 questions. But since I'm alone here tonight, and since we're all virtually together, let's sing them together. I'll sing them by myself here, and I invite you to sing along with me. Page 4. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelot, mikol halelot, shebecho halelot, anu ochlin hametz umatzah, chametz umatzah. Halayla hazeh, kulo umatzah. Halayla hazeh, kulo umatzah. Shebecho halelot, anu ochlin she'ar yirakot, she'ar yirakot. Halayla hazeh, maror, maror. Halayla hazeh, maror, maror. Shebecho halelot, ein anu matbilin, afilu pam echad, afilu pam echad. Halayla hazeh, shetei pe'amim. Halayla hazeh, shetei pe'amim. Shebecho halelot, anu ochlin, ben yoshvin uven misuvin, ben yoshvin uven misuvin. Halayla hazeh, kulanu mesubin. Halayla hazeh, kulanu mesubin. Please join me on page 5 in reading the English for the 4 questions. Why is this night different from all other nights? On all other nights, we eat leavened bread or matzah. On this night, we eat only matzah. On all other nights, we eat various kinds of vegetables. On this night, we eat maror, a bitter vegetable. On all other nights, we do not dip even once. On this night, we dip twice. On all other nights, we eat either sitting up or reclining. On this night, we all recline. We continue now on the same page, the bottom of page 5, with the 4 children. And let's read together in English. Tradition teaches that there are 4 types of children who need to learn the story of the Exodus and the traditions of the Seder. These are the wise child, the wicked child, the simple child, and the child who does not know enough to ask a question. Yet we know that no child nor person is completely wise or wicked, always simple, or never with a question. These qualities are aspects of all of us at various times. We bring our full selves with all our complexity to the Seder this evening to experience redemption. And I love this here because I know about myself that at certain times I'm the wise child, at certain times I'm the simple child. It depends what context I'm in. And I love this idea of these qualities being aspects of all of us at various different times. And I really, really do believe that in order for us to be liberated, to be free, we need to be coming with our full selves and all the different parts of us. So we'll turn now to page 6, where we'll start the story, the Passover story. Let's read together. My father was a wandering Aramaean. He went down to Egypt with meager numbers and lived there, but there he became a great and very populous nation. The Egyptians dealt harshly with us and oppressed us. They imposed heavy labor upon us. We cried to the Eternal One, the God of our ancestors, who heard our plea and saw our plight, our misery, and our oppression. Then the Eternal One freed us from Egypt by a mighty hand, by an outstretched arm and awesome power, and by signs and portents. That's from Deuteronomy chapter 26. So we've now reached the time in our Seder where we look at the 10 plagues. And there's a tradition in our Seder for the 10 plagues to dip our pinky into the wine and let some out of our cup. Now, why do we do this? Jewish tradition says that a full cup of wine is a symbol of joy. And so even as we celebrate our joy on Passover, which we do, at the same time, we diminish our joy by taking some out to recognize the suffering of the Egyptians who suffered from the 10 plagues. So we recognize that suffering while we're celebrating our own freedom. So let me bring my plate over here. And we'll fill our wine cups for this. And we'll name all 10 plagues in Hebrew and English. So feel free to join with me. Dam, blood. Tzfardea, frogs. Kinim, lice. Arov, beasts. Dever, cattle disease. Shechin, boils. Barad, hail. Arbe, locusts. Choshech, darkness. Makat bechorot, slaying of the firstborn. We continue now on page 7. We're continuing now with dayenu. It would have been enough. So the word dayenu means it would have been enough. It would have been enough had God only done one of the nice things, the blessings that God did for us. But God did so many things. And so we say dayenu. Now, I like to think about dayenu as a practice of gratefulness, to count my blessings, to think of all of the things that I'm grateful for and say, if I only had this one thing, it would have been enough. But I also have this other thing. And that helps me to be grateful for all of the blessings that I have in life. So let's sing together this song, Dayenu. And if you know it, please sing with me. And if you don't, it's very repetitive, so please, you'll probably catch on. One important note, on page 7, there's both the Hebrew and the transliteration. I'll be reading from the transliteration because the Hebrew and the transliteration are a little different from each other. Ilu hotzi anu mi Mitzrayim anu mi Mitzrayim dayenu dayenu Ilu natan lanu et hashabat natan lanu et hashabat dayenu dayenu Ilu natan lanu et haTorah natan lanu et haTorah dayenu dayenu dayenu, sing with me, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Now we continue on page 8, where we're going to say 2 blessings over the matzah. The first blessing that we say over the matzah is hamotzi, which we say often, and the second one is for matzah specifically. So here I have my matzot in here, and I'll take the middle matzah out. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. Gotta get rid of all these crumbs. So once you've taken a bite of your matzah, let's turn now to page 9. Where we eat the maror. Now the maror, the bitter herb, symbolizes the bitterness of oppression in Egypt. And also, I really believe that Passover shows us, it's an opportunity to show us that since we were slaves and we know what it's like to be oppressed, we are obligated to fight against oppression in our world today. And so I like to think about that when I eat the maror. So you should have some maror in front of you. And what we'll do is we'll take a small piece of matzah. And you can put some of the maror. I have very spicy maror, so I'm just going to take a tiny bit. And let's say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has made us holy with your mitzvot and commanded us to eat maror. So in a little while, we're going to have a delicious dinner. So we're going to have a delicious dinner, and if you want to have a little snack, I'm going to have a little snack. I'm going to take some of my charoset here and put it on my matzah with a little maror to make a sandwich. This is called a Hillel sandwich after our great sage Hillel. So again, just very shortly, we're going to have a full, delicious dinner. So we want to take a moment just to say thank you in advance for the wonderful food that we'll have. So I am in the middle of page 9 at the blessing after the meal. Let's read the English here together. We praise you, Holy One our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us freedom, provided food for us and for the world, and enabled us to gather for this Seder. We praise you, Holy One our God, creator of life and maker of peace, and we express our gratitude to you for all that we have. Amen. We sing together on the bottom of page 9. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens Make peace over us, over all Israel, and over the world. We continue on page 10 for Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhea be'amenu, Yavo Elenu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David. We invite the prophet Elijah to help bring us peace. And this is Elijah's cup, this is Miriam's cup. We invite them to our Seder. We're going to turn a few pages forward to page 13 in our Haggadah. This is a song for our Seder called Echad Mi Yodea, Who Knows One. So let's sing this together. And if you know it, you can sing with me. If you don't, you can hum along. We'll read it. We'll sing it first in Hebrew, and then we'll read it in the English, the last verse of it, so that we understand the whole song. Echad mi yodea, Echad ani yodea, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheba shamayim uvaretz, Shnayim mi yodea, Shnayim ani yodea, Shnei luchot habrit, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheva shamayim uvaretz, Shlosha mi yodea, Shlosha ani yodea, Shlosha avot, Shnei luchot habrit, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheba shamayim uvaretz. The last verse, this big paragraph. Shlosha asar mi yodea, Shlosha asar ani yodea, Shlosha asar midaya, Shnayim asar shivtaya, Achad asar kochvaya, Asara dibraya, Tisha yercheleda, Shmona yemei mila, Shiv'a yemei shabata, Shisha sidrei mishnah, Chamisha chumshei Torah, Arba imahot, Shlosha avot, Shnei luchot habrit, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheva shamayim uvaretz. So now, just so we know what all of that means, let's read the last paragraph here for Who Knows 13. We're on page 14 at the bottom. Who knows 13? I know 13. 13 are the attributes of God. 12 are the tribes of Israel. 11 are the stars of Joseph's dream. 10 are the commandments of Sinai. 9 are the months to childbirth. 8 are the days to circumcision. 7 are the days of the week. 6 are the orders of the Mishnah. 5 are the books of the Torah. 4 are our matriarchs. 3 are our patriarchs. 2 are the tablets of the covenant. And 1 is our God in heaven and on earth. We're now on page 15 for another song, Chad Gad Ya, which is a song about a goat. So for this one, this song is in Aramaic, which is a cousin language of Hebrew. So we'll sing it in Aramaic, and then at the end we'll read the last paragraph in English so that we can understand what all the Aramaic is saying. Please sing with me if you know it. Or if you don't, you can just sing along once you learn the tune. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Dizvan Abba Bitre Zuze, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Ve'ata shunra ve'acha legad ya, dizvan Abba bitre zuze, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Ve'ata chalba ve'nashach leshonra de'acha legad ya, Dizvan Abba bitre zuze, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Ve'ata chutra ve'hika lechalba denashach leshonra de'acha legad ya, Dizvan Abba bitre zuze, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Last verse, this big paragraph. Ve'ata hakadosh baruch hu v'shachat lemalach hamevet, d'shachat l'shochet, d'shachat l'torah, d'shachat Talemaya dechava lenora, desaraf lechut ralehika lechalba, denashach leshonra deacha legadya, dizvan abba bitre zuze, Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. So let's turn to page 16, the very bottom of 16. We'll read the last verse in English so that we know what happened in this story about the goat. Then came the Holy One and killed the angel of death, who killed the shochet, who killed the ox, that drank the water, that quenched the fire, that burnt the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the kid my father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. So we'll turn to page 17 now for another song, Avadim Hayinu. We were slaves once, but now we are free. And again, there's Hebrew on this page and transliteration. They're a little different, so I'm going to follow through with the transliteration, which are the English words of the Hebrew words. The English writing of the Hebrew words. Avadim hayinu, ata benechorin, 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 Avadim hayinu, ata benechorin. We're so grateful that we're free now. We were slaves once, but now we are free. And we'll turn together now. We'll skip to page 19. This is the last page of the Haggadah, our last page. So let's read together in the English. When Israel went forth out of Egypt, house of Jacob from the people of a foreign tongue, Judah became God's holy place. Israel became God's seat of rule. The sea beheld and fled. The Jordan turned, reversed its flow. The mountains danced about like rams, the hills like flocks of lambs. What's wrong with you, O sea, that you shall flee? And you, O Jordan, that you turn around? You mountains, why do you rejoice like rams, you hills like flocks of lambs? Tremble, earth, before the mighty one, before the God of Jacob, who turns the rock into a pool of water, the flint into a bubbling fount. Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, Lishana haba'a, Lishana haba'a b'Yerushalayim. Next year, may we be together, may we be in health, in happiness, may we be together in Jerusalem. And I wish you all and us all a Chag Sameach, Chag Pesach Sameach, a happy Passover. I hope that this holiday is full of joy and of liberation for all of us. Chag Sameach, happy Passover.